Two and one. What is up, everybody? Back again. Yeah, it's been a little bit. We've been busy doing shows and stuff. We just played Elbow Room with some cool people, some friends of ours. A shout out to Came Out Swinging, was Among the Essence, and Spineless Heartless. Haven't got to play with those guys yet. First time playing with them. I haven't really heard them live.
Who?
Spineless Heartless. You remember what?
You heard them?
No, I've never played with them live though.
Before that.
No, I've heard them because that one guy was a Josh from at Broadway Music. Shout out to them too.
Well, not this current lineup. They've been a band for a very long time.
Yeah, I know.
Like they were playing when we were doing the Portage Bowling Alley shit.
Yeah, because I remember
but
hearing
it's just
of them.
Total different lineup.
That was a cool place. I like that. The owner, I don't know if it's co-owners or solo owner, Albert and Dave. Shout out to that guy. Awesome. Hooked me up, but turned me on to Singu, or it was like Xingu. It's a Brazilian. The beer is fucking black.
What?
Yeah, I was.
They put coffee in
on
it?
Instagram. No, it's just like a dark ale, but like super fucking black.
Yeah.
I was surprised how delicious it tastes. I was expecting to be like super super hoppy or something. Definitely not.
Yeah, my only complaint is that there's too many stairs.
Yeah, they need a better way to carry equipment up and down there. Like at least the other one is a straight set of stairs, but that one, if you come to the front door, good God,
It's too much.
Well, like they've
Too
had some
many
like
stairs.
big bands come through there too, which I was like, how the fuck do they get in there?
With the tour bus shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
But
Too many stairs.
No, I do.
Other than that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun looking at my drum set for about the entire time.
Yeah, I was in a corner with other bands.
Same. I was on the upper side of the room.
You had nowhere to go though. They were just surrounding you.
Mm-hmm. I was just completely surrounded by drum stuff and drummers and talking about drum stuff and drummers. And like, oh, shit, it's almost time to go on. I should probably focus on my stuff. Oh, I go on in 30 minutes. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I was just like chilling and drinking. The usual. Good old time is the enemy there. But we will be playing at Royal Skate May 4th. That's
Friday.
So like 2
Is it?
3
Is
weeks
it
from
a
now.
Friday?
It's a Friday. Yeah, Friday night.
Look
Doors
at
open
this.
at 7. Actually, it's 7 or 6. Maybe it's 6.
Yeah, it's
Doors open
Friday.
at 6. We got the tickets in, by the way. For those of you listening on here and you're looking to get some tickets, we've got PayPal, we've got e-tickets, and will call. So feel free to hit us up on that, or we can bring your tickets depending on where the fuck you are. If you're like way too hell out, then we'll just make sure you have stuff there.
I'm going as far as Michigan City and Lansing. I'm not driving.
Michigan City's way farther than Lansing.
Well, I work in
Oh, yeah,
Chesterton,
that's
so
right.
that's
That's right,
that's
Tom.
nothing for me.
But anywho, May 4th with other bands that I've never heard of. Hopefully they're good. Not hiding on you guys. I just never looked into you guys yet before
Not
this
yet.
podcast.
But we will do
Yeah.
our
Due diligence.
research. Yeah.
But other than that, no. A lot going on. We released our single. If you guys have not checked it out yet, Azrael. It's on Spotify. It's on Twitter. Not Twitter. What is it on Twitter? The link.
It's on
But no,
Twitter.
it's on Spotify, iTunes, the good old Apple Store. What else is it?
Reverb
Google Play,
Nation.
Reverb Nation.
It's even on YouTube.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't force it ad on YouTube.
It's one of the links. It's
Oh.
one of the links. It's weird. It's like the profile is like a fake profile, and it's just the song.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But yeah,
it
we're
has
on-
like 2 views.
You're on all kinds of stuff. Hey, it's more than no views. But yeah, thanks for all of you guys that have been following us and donating towards it and whatnot and hook us up. And yeah, everyone else that's on the mailing list, be prepared. You're going to get a free single. So it'll be delightful for you because it's free. Everyone loves free stuff.
Free.
But yeah, be sure to come out and see us May 4th. We'll be out there playing music, talking stuff with good old Darlene. Xenon?
I feel like I haven't
Zion?
seen her.
Yeah, we haven't seen her in a hot minute.
Damn, that was February.
I told her I want to get her on here so she
Yeah.
can talk about the local music and stuff like that. We have to do it one time.
That was in February. We might have to like bring this
Just bring it to her.
Yeah.
Because we've done it
have her
during
do
live
at the-
shows.
Yeah, and just have her do it while we, or before, because she's always there early.
Mm-hmm. We could just do like we can bring like the small one maybe and just your laptop.
She'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna."
Yeah, just do a quick thing like that. But anywho, other than that, yeah, a lot going on. Being busy, practicing, studio time, good times with the studios, remixing stuff like that. I know the one thing that, as musicians side, it's always interesting to see the farther you start learning stuff, especially if you're working with anyone else, like the current sound engineer we're working with. The little tips and tricks you learn and just like experimenting stuff. Because like the newest thing we experimented with, we just took some cardboard on one of our 57s, SM57s. Sure, make the light stuff. They're not sponsored with us, but we just like using their stuff. But just some cardboard to cut Kenny's snare. That's about it. Because we got so much
And-
bleed over.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. You're like, wait, what? You'd use cardboard to actually cut
Yeah,
the
we
snare?
cut his snare in half.
Cut it, yeah.
For
Have-
all
have
you
two
music
snares.
geeks, that's one way we fixed it. Because the room we're in, it's like most of it's plaster. But we've got some good sound deadening on like the right, left of them. But we're getting too much.
It's bouncing off the ceiling.
Yeah, it was
and
coming
then,
back.
like, yeah, there's not really a way to put anything on the ceiling without fucking up the plaster.
Yeah. We should just
Could-
cover the whole room in foam.
That'd be fine.
We'll
You
cover
hear
it.
my own heartbeat.
I just want to cover it, make it a quiet room. I'd probably be too dead. And then we'd be very unhappy. I was like, well, we got to
It'd
put
be good.
hard surfaces in here now.
And then it just keeps. It
yeah,
just
we
keep
put,
going.
We put more plaster on top of that.
Plaster on top of the foam on top of the plaster, and then all of a sudden we can't walk in the room anymore because it's.
But man,
no
dude,
room.
the sound, the acoustics in here would be fantastic. It would just like, what's going on? I don't know. It has like 1,000 different cathedral reverbs in here now. I don't know what's
Sounds
happening.
great.
But other than that, yeah. No, we've been up to stuff. If you have all other little cool promotions, we have our gaming channel with our buddy Ben. We've got Basic Black Guy Fat Filipino and a pimp named Slickback, but check it out. It's called Gamer Sluts. That's GamerSluhts. Be sure to check that out. We're trying to get on streams live. We're trying to do it every Friday, but this Friday we're going to see the new Super Troopers 2. Hopefully everyone else is going to go see that. I'm excited to see that. Dude, it's been
It's been a very long time.
yeah, I mean they had like Slamming Salmon
Uh-huh.
and Club Dread and what's some of those other ones? They had a couple other ones that I could have sworn, but definitely I like Slamming Salmon a lot.
Slam and Salmon is one of the best movies besides Spaceballs that I enjoy all the time. Like when they ask questions like, "What movie would you watch for the rest of your life?" Slam and Salmon.
Well, and it's got the late great Michael Clark Duncan in it,
Exactly.
so that
And,
made it
that,
pretty
and that's why
awesome.
it's all bittersweet. It just reminds me of how he was a 10 times better Terry Crews. But
And
Terry
you-
Crews
and-
is still not
and
that
Terry
bad.
Crews is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And
That's
you have
saying something.
Zongo. Yeah. If you don't know who that is, you should watch Slam and Salmon.
Yeah. Slam and Salmon is absolutely hilarious.
Jay Shandrick Seacard, whatever.
I
They're
can't
just an
pronounce
awesome
his-
comedy
I
troupe.
can't pronounce his
In
name.
general, yeah, the Broken Lizard is pretty fucking awesome. But no, that's one thing that's cool. Like I have been once again trying to get into the whole podcasting and whatnot, but like checking out, there's a lot of comedians that do podcasts, and I've been listening to different comedians, and now I'm starting to appreciate more comedy. Just the art of itself, like
Yeah.
listening to different comedians talk about how they do their craft. And like they compare it to being a musician, but even then I was like, that is so much harder because every day you have to go on stage and
Yeah.
just try it and see if it works. At least here I was like, once we learn it, we just keep playing the same shit
Yeah.
till we die.
Like musicians get the opportunity to express themselves, and that's to real musicians, well, not real musicians, but to people that really love their craft, they're doing it for themselves, so they kind of don't care who they play in front of or who it's going out to. They're making the music because it's a part of themselves. Comedy, yes, it could be the exact same thing, but you sort of can't really take from anybody else without being quoted as a stealer, like stealing somebody's joke. Or
Mhm.
and the only way you really get to test your quote unquote music is in front of a live audience, is in front of multiple
Oh, yeah. And even
people,
that,
multiple demographics. So it's like trial and error over like a huge thing. Like if musicians were to take the same road as people in comedy, they would need thousands of dollars because you have to travel to different places for the different demographics.
and you'd have to play every day.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing. Like I wish we were in an area that has more comedy, so you can like really hear how they develop.
Mm-hmm.
But like listening to any of them, and you guys hear it all the time. I was like, well, he definitely like a good thing, like listening to him, but like Joe Rogan, even like Bert Kreischer and all those guys, like I'm listening more and more comedy because like there's just stuff that I like listening to during work, so it's not monotonous. But listening to them and hearing how they basically try to shape things and talking about bombing, which even that, like, I could really appreciate that because there is shows where we play like hot garbage
Mm-hmm.
and we know it, or you're playing to a crowd that does not like your music, which is rare. Haha. No, even that when you play it when just there's no energy from the crowd
Yeah.
and you're just like, we're gonna keep playing and see what happens here.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
definitely playing those shit shows and fucking up royally, like missing cues or solos.
Oh yeah.
That is definitely worth it, and that's one thing like I really like about listening to comedy. Like when they just, where they said they totally eat shit,
Mm-hmm.
and no one's laughing or they total bomb, just like that, where nothing goes right. But
Yeah.
those make even the shows that everyone's like, you did awesome, they're just so much more
Yeah.
sweet.
And it helps. The best artists in general usually record themselves doing it, just because when you get in an event like that, you always have something else to perform for. Like for instance, anytime we go to a show or play in a show where there's just seems like people are just here to stand and do nothing, at least you can point at the camera that's been on record for the last 10 minutes and be like, thank God there's somebody else that's going to see this instead of these people standing in front of me, you know?
Yeah, and that's one thing too. Like even that they talk, like all the comedians talk about, like listening to their recordings, what works, what doesn't work. Even that, like even just like the small banter in between sets and whatnot. I was gonna retire the whole Game of Thrones shtick until like this one freaking everyone like started responding to it because one of our songs is about that, and then now we got we met a new dude that's totally into our stuff. So yeah, I gotta look at our mailing list again. I'm gonna get that out again. But yeah, you're gonna get some free shit, dude. But yeah, even that, he's like, yeah, I love the Game of Thrones stuff. I was like, thank you for actually responding to it this time, because I've had 3 shows where no one fucking watched that show.
Yeah, and I highly doubt it, because these 3 shows have been kind of spread out over this entire region.
I was like, how have you not watched any of these? And we got Chicago's like, sweet, I got more than one hand this time, and more responses.
You get it.
But other than that, no, that was I like, yeah, going back to that. That's one thing that you can always tell, even when you're doing any show from the local scene. Like, I wish more artists talked about that. Like, not to shit on any of the artists, but when you go there, you can tell they're either like full of themselves and they're playing like hot shit, or they just don't practice or something like that. But then you can see the ones that come in that they love doing what they're doing, or you could tell they just enjoy at least what they're playing and they practice it. Like some of the other bands, I'm not saying specifically, but you could tell like certain members were super comfortable with what they were doing, and the other ones were like, I don't know, or it's in lieu of the fact if you're brand new to the band or something like that.
And practice has everything to do with success in general. That's just a fact for human life. It's repetition. It's muscle memory. And the part that'll get me about just acts in general is, if you're in combination with other people and somebody loves it more than you do, you'll never be, quote unquote, as good as that person, because that person that loves it more is going to practice more. They're just going to, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like practice. That holds true to the sports all the time. You hear that all the time, where certain athletes will be like, I thought everybody at this level was working their ass off. You know what I mean? I never thought that you can get up to this high and people just had talent and luck and were able to be here. I thought everybody was working hard. And that's definitely not the case. And you see that no matter where you go, whether you're playing on a tour across the nation or you're playing in the backyard with your buddy's band, and your buddy's band is just psyched to be a band. You know, they're not taking it as serious as you. And from a listener standpoint, you're not giving out the best product if you're kind of half-assing it, because the ear of listeners has evolved tremendously to where they can pick out all the different nuances just like we do, and they don't even play music. They don't even make music. And they've just heard enough of it to the point where they're like, something's not right there.
Yeah, and they could feel like almost like when you're faking it, like in anything else with that. The main thing, you could hear a lot of artists that try to be like, oh, I'm super humble like that. Honestly, we've probably talked about this previously, but even one else, I could care less. I mean, yeah, it'd be fantastic if I'm making millions. We're barely making anything now.
True.
But like there's plenty of bands out there that feel the same way, which I wish they'd be more vocal about it, do anything like we're doing like that. Even for the small audience that's listening, we really do enjoy playing music, because like if you can feel what we're doing and you understand our stories, that's all I want. We would just want to be able to tell you, depending on whatever we have, and your fans that know our music, what we're talking about, which I'm not gonna hint it here, but just the way we approach things, and then the other thing with that, going with enjoying what you're doing and not really caring about, okay, well, I'm doing this because I want to make millions of dollars. Well, if you go in that way, I don't think you'll try as hard. You're just gonna try as hard for that one goal, and when you get that goal, you're like, oh shit, what do I do? But then the other standpoint with that, one of the bands we were with, we played with. I wish I could remember the name, but basically the way that they blended their stuff was like it was almost like that. Lenny Kravitz meets Jimi Hendrix meets whatever, but like one of the songs that they did, their very very closing song, it had like a funk tune, but it was. What I'm getting at is I really like the fact of trying something different. And that's one thing, even if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We've tried many gimmicks that totally just sucked. But what we're doing now with the clean vocals over everything else, like super aggressive, like, granted, everything's been done. But the way that we're happy with it, we've got really, really good rapport, and it's turning out something great that we didn't expect, that I didn't even want to do, especially as fronting the band. I still, I'm always that, but, even fronting the band with going that way, trying the clean singing over what we're doing is actually turning out really well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the main thing I want, was just any bands in general, just trying something different. Even the way, like, your drumming style. You did this weird fucking setup I've never seen. I'm like, how does that work with your toms? And for some reason, I feel like there's a lot more synergy within the songs, or how we, just us in general, develop them, and it sounds different. I mean, it feels different.
Yeah, it's like it's just putting a nail on the head again. Is trying something different, because after a while, everybody gets bored. Mm-hmm. Even that's why you see major artists take like this huge left turn, because they've been in the same genre or doing the same grouping or same writing style lyrically or musically for the 10 years, and it's like, well, if I'm gonna keep doing this because I love it, I'm going to do something that I fucking want to do, regardless of how people see it. And that's the exact same thing with this band. It's just, fuck it. Why not?
Granted, we're not getting paid millions or getting paid in general to do this, but I was like, we're still, trying to find our niche, and I think we finally found it. It's just, we got to get it out to anyone that's listening now or whatnot. Support, and not just us, but support any of your local bands. If you're in Texas, if you're in California or like that, if there's something you really like, let them know. And try and support them out. I'm not trying to get our cause, but like in general, there's so many good bands that we've heard that just fell apart. That I was like, man, if you guys would have kept going, it would have been something fantastic.
Because that's the one thing that's lacking with just the music industry from I'll say distortion standpoint. Because you don't see a lot of this issue with other genres. It's mainly what we call metal or metalcore, deathcore, stuff like that. There's a clear A list and then a nothing list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, like Sam said it best, it's because of the digital age. You know what I mean? If you were already a touring musician, you sort of have that right. You know what I mean? You're going to have that draw.
Yeah.
But now, kids don't need to go to shows. You just download your music and hear it on Spotify.
Yeah.
And we, as a group, fans, friends, family, we have to take it to the next step and be like, hey, in person, you're doing a really great job, and this is how you're going to get to the A-list, is if you keep going, if I keep helping you, if the community gets involved. Because I promise, if that would, for instance, how they were talking about getting rid of Warped Tour,
mm-hmm.
and there was literally forums and like millions and millions of people that were on there saying, we want these certain bands, because these
did it go down completely? I thought it was done forever. Or are they bringing it back
I think
now?
we got one last one, but all the acts make it seem like Coachella. It's super integrated. Warped Tour used to be a sort of...
Well, Warped Tour was almost like a Rock on the Range. No, Rock on the Range took that over. But Warped Tour was like exactly that. I mean, Rock on the Range is only one area. But yeah, I remember it used to be, you'd have like one day there was like a hard rock, but then you get like some super, super like hardcore metal bands. And then you get your pop punk. And so like you'd have different days, or as the day went on, you get your more popular bands depending on what it is. It doesn't even have to be metal or like that, but it's so hard to even find. Actually, there's not many festivals.
Exactly.
Because people don't want to go to them. And that sucks.
And it'd be real easy if those bands, I mean, to me it feels like that way. If those bands did it one time, they'd have enough revenue, or they see the potential for it to keep that sort of thing going, to bring back live shows, because that's life and death of a band.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how many sales you have, if you're signed to a label, the label's got to get the cut. Label's got to get their cut to whatever you signed on the contract, because then the band cut gets cut up again with the band members.
Well, and any
and
other
then
expenses.
that gets cut for expenses.
Because, like, yeah, you got the, like, let's say you have 100% and, like, whatever your label deal or whatever it is like that. I was like,
You know.
not even that. By the time the band gets paid, you've got, like, drivers, you've got
Yeah.
expenses, you got food, you got gas. And then even that, and I'm like, it's mad respect. Even, like, these top-tier metal bands or some of these top-tier bands in general are barely making ends
Yeah.
meet. I mean, yeah, granted, you've got your... And we'll always sound better, even that too. I mean, everyone else can agree or disagree, but I mean, you've got like these pop artists or like that, not trying to throw like mad hate on them, but you're playing like a 3-chord thing. They push play and they just rinse and repeat, and you're getting that over and over and over again. I was like, as a listener, I want to feel like you need to be more demanding. I mean, even now, this I don't give a shit about. Like this mumble rap bullshit, that's hot garbage. I don't really care. And there's a lot of I've talked to a lot of people in the rap scene, which I know nothing about.
Yeah.
So I'm no authority on it. But even that, they're like, that shit is bullshit. There's no feeling on it. And I even talked to people that are like hardcore about like, 80s, 90s or whatever. They weren't talking about, this can go on and on every time. They're not talking about bitches and money and hoes and getting drunk and big expensive cars. They're talking about exactly life experiences, fucking seeing their friend getting shot or being shot at or the police or anything like that. I that's what I kind of miss. Even that. That's what I kind of miss on the rap, even the pop scene. I feel like, in lieu of boy bands, which are still
They're barely
created to, but even that, like, at least they could sing. I did give them that. And, like, even Justin Timberlake, maybe because, I'm a 90s kid and whatnot. Yeah. But even that, like, they had some sort of talent. And even some of them actually could play instruments. Not that I'm saying that you need to play an instrument with that. But don't call yourself a musician then. If all you're doing is coming over and singing and someone else is writing your shit, you're not a musician.
Yeah.
I'll give you an artist, maybe.
You're the talent.
Yeah, you're a talent. And you have talent then.
You're the talent. But
don't tell me you're a musician.
Yeah. You're just a talent. And that'll always be the thing that separates all the genres is how they evolved and the type of support that they have for anybody that's coming up. Right now the biggest one would be like sort of the EDM dubstep genre, because that genre is helping everybody out. That genre is completely about taking somebody else's idea with permission and remixing it and making it better and going to festivals and things like that. Simply,
that's one thing I do give to EDM. I don't get it, I don't understand it, but their festivals have like 10, 20,000 people. Granted,
all
everyone's
the time.
blitzed to shit, but there's like a shit ton of people. Like, what's the Enchanted Forest or something?
Yeah.
When I was just like, you go to this festival, I was like, well, how much? There's so many EDM festivals.
And that's just
electronic. Sorry, Ben.
It's just a thing. Yeah. Like and like when you speak to the fans, when you speak to the artists, it's just one unanimous message. Like, we're here for each other.
Yeah, we just want to make music.
We just want to make music, and then the fans are just like, we just want to hear good music. We just want to get away. Like, that would be one of the only genres right now that is that inclusive to where.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of support of their fans. And no, we're not saying that they're any better than any other music, because there's a big difference. But some of them actually really produce stuff. And once again, neither of us are authority on this, but like for me, I like Chemical Brothers, Daft Punk, and everything like that, because they do that shit live, and that is fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do that,
so
I give it to them. But yeah,
but it's like people like Daft Punk and Skrillex are
Ben hates
streaming.
Skrillex, by the way.
They'll be streaming, and it's just them talking to fans while they're on the website, and fans are literally like, hey, listen to this person, listen to this person. And you see, you get to witness these, top tier artists, people that are making millions of dollars. They're like, oh, okay, this guy's got a nice beat. And you hear certain stories from time to time where it's like, I like this music so much, or this guy's music so much, I want him on the next festival. And then that person gets to blow up. You don't get to hear about that all the time in the metal scene, because you're looking for a talent scout. You're not looking
because there's
for,
a couple bands too that would do that too. They would take, if they see it, like I wish they had that too, like Metallica and all of them, and even any other ones like back in like your 80s, maybe early 90s, not anymore. You'd have a band that would take, if they hear you talented, they'll play with it. Like everyone will hear that. Anyone that's a musician, you'll appreciate this one. But yeah, the whole pay to play thing, it is what it is. You got to pay the venue, all that like stuff like that, and there's no really way around it. But even that, like, it's gone are the days where like you do a show with, I don't know, just some whatever X band. They hear you and they're like, oh, you guys sound good. Hey, you want to do a couple shows with us? Like, I feel like it's always one big fucking competition. When really I was like, we're all in it for the same game. Yeah. If you do better than I do, so be it. But
If
it's
I
the
accept-
market's
yeah,
not saturated.
not at all, not at all. And if
And there's a lot of hot garbage out there. Not to say we're any better, but I'm like, anyone else who's listening to this, you know that's the truth. There's a lot of
Yeah.
garbage out there. Like, why are they a signed band, or why are they making it? Sounds like every XYZ band.
exactly, and you just don't see that sort of community anymore, and that would easily turn the tide like there was no tomorrow, easily. And it'll only take maybe a couple hundred local bands that are really trying hard from across the entire U.S. for that to become a thing, to make people more inspired about not just metal but other music in general. Because right now, it's EDM and dubstep. They're the ones that are like, yo, this guy, he might be local. Let me
I'll
play
even
his music.
say-
And then he gets big. And then it happens again and it happens again. And they're like, hey, you had a sample. Can I use your sample? Of course. Whatever, I'll give you the sample if you take me on your next festival. Dope, let's do it. And everybody's having this great positive energy about it. And we've been in this band for like damn near a decade now. At least that's how it feels.
Mhm.
And from my personal opinion, I've only came across 5 bands that were willing to do that with us.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, here's that. And like these are national touring. They're like, not necessarily taking us under their wing, but like giving us like, hey, you guys are doing it, blah, blah, kind of stuff like that. Like even giving us some advice and whatnot. I'm like, and it's not the way that we took it too. Everyone's open. It wasn't the fact that it's like, hey, if you do this, this, and this should be good. And they weren't talking down to us. They're just talking to us.
Yeah.
And the main thing one thing that I will. We played with the Butcher Babies before, and I took a lot from it too. I mean, granted they're huge freaking now. I was like, doubt they would even remember us or anything like that. But talking with them after the show and whatnot, it wasn't. Oh yeah, we're just fans. I'll talk to you later. No, it basically Heidi and Nick basically came and talked with us, and they had to go. Their manager was yelling. I'm like, get inside, we gotta go, and they talked for like an hour, and it wasn't just they weren't talking down to us.
Not at all.
They weren't talking to us like we're paying or you had to talk to us. They just literally talked to us as people, like a lot of artists out there in general, musicians out there, but talking with them. And then we got to pick their brain.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, you're doing this, everything like that. And it wasn't more like that, I wish. So, like, it always pains me to hear any stories of any artist like, oh, they were super mean or anything like that. So, I don't know what it is to believe in any of the tabloids or anything like that. But just from that experience a couple years back, I learned a lot from them, and that kind of helped shape, what we're doing. It was just a pure fact of like, hey, what do you guys do with this? How are you doing this? And they're like, yeah, so we did it, blah, blah, blah. And
just people conversing.
Because they did the same thing. They came from
Yeah.
the same areas. They're playing the same, and they exactly that. We talked about it. And they talked about going from like dive bars to doing this, to doing gimmicks, and then finally something broke out.
Yeah.
Granted, you've got 2 like hot females running it, so I mean, I guess.
It didn't take that long.
Yeah,
but
we don't
it's
have
still
anything like that.
It's
But
still the
anyways.
same amount of dedication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still the same amount of dedication where they were doing shows in people's backyards just to be saying that they were doing a show.
I mean, granted, they were in L.A., so they had access to a lot of places to play at. But even that, though, no matter you, and I think that's why no matter how big some of those, especially if the ones we met, no matter how big they get, I can't throw any hate at them. Even if they get, I was like, they did their time.
Yeah.
They got where they needed to, and going that. Oh, and the other thing I was thinking about was that a lot of that I've been hearing on a lot of the comedians' podcasts. They're just going around. They hear one guy that they like, they bring him on tour with them, get them some exposure, and like a lot of them just all of a sudden get stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every band needs to do that, but if you're anywhere, you have any influence, if you want to keep what we're doing as musicians, rock, metal, and like that. If you hear someone going with you, if you have the capability, bring them on a couple of your shows, because that might help you. They'll bring their fans
Exactly.
to listen to you, even if it's not the same genre. And like we've a good example going back to the Butcher Babies thing, talking from them, and then we played like I'll say a mid-level tier band that was signed. Total assholes.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking remember the name
Like
of them.
I don't remember the name.
But
Granted,
anyways,
I wouldn't
total
say that anymore.
assholes. The whole and you're nothing. You're nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're making some money you got on there, but total assholes.
They played and they left.
Yeah, and we're just trying to converse with them like normal things,
Yeah.
like whatever.
We got, we did our jobs as quote unquote local bands. We got there early. We set up. We did our sound check. We played. They were ready to. They ended up playing before us.
Yeah, they did.
They played before us, then we played, and one more band played, and then it was Butcher
Maybe that's why they
Babies.
got angry.
Oh, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, no, that wasn't even the Butcher Baby show. That was the one over. It was like at some bowling alley. There's 2 signed bands that I've never heard of.
Oh,
That's what I was talking
yeah,
about.
okay,
The rest
yeah.
of those, there was no
I remember
problem
that
there.
show.
Yeah,
I
they're totally
remember that
assholes.
show.
Yeah, one of our buddies, Steve Morris, shout out, came out swinging. Good band. Came out swinging one more time. Came out swinging.
Came out swinging.
Yeah, we like they're good band. Props to the new singer, Marissa. Dude, you're doing good.
Marissa, not MRSA. MRSA's a
Marissa.
disease.
No, Marissa. No, it was a slur. I'm falling asleep. Marissa. But anyways, Javier, Marissa, I'm gonna forget.
Steve,
Brandon, and who's the other guy? We never talk with him. He always just shows up. I always forget he's in the band. I'm like, oh yeah, you're in the band.
I can't remember his name.
Anyway, sorry.
I don't want to say.
Sorry,
his
you're
name. I
good.
don't want to say his name and I'll be wrong. So
But
I just won't
anyways,
say it.
yeah, they were dicking around, and then they were like fucking up his equipment, and I was
Yeah.
like, they're like, I was ready to fight him. I was like, dude, they're fucking up your equipment. He was getting pissed. I'm like, dude, when they're done, let's go kick their ass.
Because like,
And even that, we're like, oh, you're
It's-
trying to be hardcore. No, I'm just saying it
No,
out
it's
of
just-
respect for a friend and
Yeah.
other people's equipment. You don't do that shit.
Yeah. that's the thing. We have more camaraderie amongst local bands than I see against top tier bands.
So much. I mean, yes, you want competition, and we don't want it
It's-
saturated
it's-
with everyone just get in because you're whatever. But
It-
we all
it's
started from somewhere.
Yeah,
Unless you're like Steve Aoki, which I think he's still pretty much whatever, but he could always fall back with.
true.
He did make him himself. I know, Ben, you hate him, but I watched that documentary and he did a lot of work. That dude does 400 shows a year.
Yeah,
Well, how is
That was
I'm
a-
surprised he's
that was
not
the same
dead.
guy that was throwing shows in his apartment, right? That was
I don't know.
the same
That's the guy that throws cake at people. His dad's the owner of Benihana.
Yeah, yep, that's him.
I was just like, you can hate as much as you want. That motherfucker works
Yeah,
hard.
he did it like he would put on shows in his apartment, and he did it every single.
And he literally, every show is the same energy. I was like, I would die.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know what you're on, dude. Let me know.
yeah.
But I don't know what you're on, but damn.
I mean, and that's good. That's good. Like that's dedication. Legendary status.
Oh, yeah.
Because it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether it was one person, two person, three person, 5 person, 500, 5,000, 5 million. Same amount of energy, same amount of dedication, the exact same product. That's dope.
And not that we hopefully sometime soon. It would be nice to get a festival with 40,000 people versus 4 people. Yeah, the 4 people shows kind of suck. But if they're totally in, it's good. But a tight 100, maybe 200. I think was the most played was 400, 500. That I like that because it's more intimate. But then,
Yeah, that too.
granted, I wouldn't know the difference between 40 or 50 because we haven't been there. But I feel like even that you hear them people sometimes the more intimate, closer, dingy, whatever. That's where you get the most out of it, especially as an artist. I get something out of just playing for people, just to see
Yeah.
the energy and everything like that, like causing a mosh pit or just the people that are digging what you're doing. That is way better than a paycheck. I mean, I could say this all the time. It's like, yeah, we're not getting a huge paycheck, but for that,
Yeah.
to see the same people start coming out to what
Yeah.
we're doing, and not even just we appreciate you buying our merch and everything like that, but just having you there and enjoying what we're doing time after
Yeah.
time. That for me is the most gratifying.
There's if you could just cover my expenses so I could create that every single place else on the planet,
Oh, that'd be
we're
awesome.
good. Because even just from band to band, just playing with Came Out Swinging. I mean, obviously we've grown real tight over the years.
No point.
Every
intended.
single time. Every single time it's just like, man, we got to do that again. Because
And we're totally different genres.
Yeah, this is 2 totally different opposite bands, but it's the same amount of love and dedication.
If we went
there.
if we could go on a tour with those guys, it'd be awesome. Have the tour work? I don't know. Maybe it'd have to be like a Beauty and the Beast kind of feel.
Yeah, and it's good, and it's just good. It's just with those guys, it's just good vibes. With us, it's just good vibes, and then you end up coming across our fans who like us for people, not necessarily always for the music, for how heavy it is, but because they like what we do and why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're here. The experience Came Out Swinging, and then their fans do the exact same thing. It's vice versa. They're like, "Wow, you're a really good drummer, man. This and oh, John's really good. Oh man, I was here to see John and Kenny, but man, Steve, Javier, like you guys, I'm buying, and everybody's benefiting from everybody, and that's why I'll always want that from a quote unquote influencer, because they can do that times a million. You know what I mean? Because they already have a huge fan base. It'd be so easy to direct them to someone that they felt had the potential, or give somebody else that sort of opportunity. Because between us both and couple other bands, we'd easily do the same, or we already have done the same.
Hey, if I could,
for each other.
if we were in a position where we could like help other bands out, I really would like to. I mean, we're trying to just help ourselves for now, but if we were in a position where we could help any sister bands or anyone else, or anytime we see a band with a lot of potential, we make sure to go out of our way to talk to them. Like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. We like what you're doing. That's so different. I like what you're doing, kind of thing.
Like it.
So, side note, different direction. I'm pretty sure I had some hearing problems after that show because like people were talking to me not at the place, but like at work, and I was like, huh. What? Oh. He's like, you heard him? Like, yeah, dude, I just did a show yesterday. I can't hear. I was like, that's been a while. It wasn't like a wah, 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 thank God. And it didn't have like tinnitus, but I don't know. Maybe I was tired or whatnot, but shit was not comprehending in my head.
I was just sore from the stupid stairs. And carrying
You need to go to the
that
gym
shit.
more, dude. I had no soreness. That was fine. I was just physically
I carried
tired.
the big shit.
Dude, your stuff's not heavy. I can carry stuff all day.
I
Carrying
carried
this up and down, fucking this goddamn
I
amp.
carried the big shit.
Your stuff's not that heavy.
Time after time after time. Yes, the fuck it is. You go fuck yourself on that. And then when I was ready to sit down, I had to look at the clock to be like, well, you can't really sit down. You have to set up all 900.
No, the drumming part, that's the hard part. The carrying part, the drumming part, that will kill you. That's tiring. I'll give you that.
I did both.
But I was like, I carried fucking Tyler's shit and my shit and all that stuff like that. Granted, I do a lot of different training than you do, so it wasn't that bad for me. I probably can carry all of our stuff down in one move.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't even happen. I would have fell down those damn stairs, smashed my face on the ground.
Those stupid, stupid, stupid stairs.
Still not as bad as
And then the door was slim.
Oh, yeah, it was a really tiny ass door.
It was a really tiny door. So I had to carry
you had to like do like
I
what
had to
I
carry
do.
the riser with like my arms all the way out just so I could get through the door.
Like you're like doing Atlas Stone training, which I'm used to. And you're like, I was like, yeah, Kenny's gonna die.
I was like, this is fucking stupid. And then I'd rest for like 2 seconds and look at the clock and be like, you have to go on soon. You should probably put your drum set together. And I put that bend over, screw, bend over, screw. Oh, you left your cymbals upstairs. Okay, go get those.
Yeah, it was.
Go. All right. Oh, you left that upstairs.
I was definitely. I think another reason why I didn't feel anything, I was on a lot of energy drinks. At my other job, I had to get up super early and go straight to the show. Yeah, I was down in energy drinks left and right. But good times though.
Did not stop moving until like the very end, and then the very end was like 10:30, and I was like, okay, I'm relaxed. It's time to go home. All right, let's pack it all up.
Yeah.
Go up the stairs. Go up the stairs again. Carry all that shit. All right, relax. Nope, time to drive.
Yeah,
all right, drive home.
I was making weird noises of like, just so I could move stuff and then taking deep breaths.
Drive home. Okay, now we're home.
Oh, we got to carry more stuff again.
All right, cool. I'm going to go home and go to sleep. Bzz, 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 bzz. That's the alarm to go to work.
Yeah, I am glad I was off the next day. But anyways, just to wrap things up and whatnot. Yeah, once again, I mean, we've got a lot in the works for you guys. So if you like we said before, if you haven't checked it out, we do have our new single Azrael. If you want to know about the song, message us and we'll go into detail about what the song's about and a lot of our influences there. Also, yeah, if you want to get on our podcast like usual, some of your local bands and whatnot, we've got a couple different guests that'll be coming up soon. Hopefully we'll be back to this 100% again. Make sure to check out our gaming channel, with our buddies there, Gamer Sluts. That's GamerSluhts. But yeah, per usual, check us out, official TITE. That's official TITE. Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit. Yeah, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, just message us direct, man. Or girl, whatever. Doesn't really matter. We don't judge. But yeah, hit us up. We'll respond and stuff.
2018, you better not assume somebody's gender.
No.
Idiot.
Yeah, like when one buddy likes to dress up as Batman. I was like, did you just assume Batman's gender? I prefer a bat person.
Bat person.
But anyways, yeah, thanks again for listening, guys. Stay tuned. We'll have some new shit for you guys. And be sure to follow. You don't have to like, but for you to follow all of our channels.